all political parties have failed us as citizens.
It's important for us to reclaim our power back because we've given too much of our power to politicians.
Our parents vote every time, but still there's no change. We still live under the condition. Instead, it gets worse.
How can you change a system while you don't know what's happening on the ground?
When you have an independent candidate from your own community, they've lived your struggle.
Electoral reform has been, part of the debate in South Africa for many years, since 1994. But what really triggered this process was the Concord judgment in June 2020. Parliament was required to amend the Electoral Act and find a new electoral system to ensure that independent candidates are able to contest.
It is declared that the Electoral Act 73 of 1998 is unconstitutional to the extent that it requires that adult citizens may be elected to the National Assembly and provincial legislatures only through their membership of political parties.
Power to the people, a clarion call synonymous with the fight for a just and free South Africa. It was a promise that said the power rests with and because of the people. The exercising of that power was first seen in our democratic elections in 1994, where millions stood in line to exercise their constitutional right. Over 2 decades later, not all our rights are protected.
The right of people, the people of South Africa, to choose their own government is the constant heartbeat that keeps our democracy alive. To tinker with this is to tinker with the lifeblood of our democracy.
Parliament was supposed to start a process to amend the Electoral Act. The Constitutional Court gave Parliament 24 months, that's 2 years, to revise and to amend the Electoral Act. Parliament has missed that deadline.
It's 28 years after democracy, but there's still so much inequality that exists within our communities. Parliament needs to make laws that are benefiting communities, and Parliament needs to represent people.
For all the government people that is sitting on Parliament, you're sitting there for nothing. You want to be elected, you want to flash us monies, food parcels. I mean, what person are you to play on other people's feelings? I mean, you have a family member, you have families, you have children. Why are you doing it to other people's people? Sorry to say, but we are cutthroat.
My Vote Counts and a number of other civil society organizations moved to highlight the voices of South Africans through a series of public hearings. The primary objective, however, was for South Africans to have their say.
The people that are on the bus aren't the right people, but we're limited because in the manner estructurishwe ngayo electoral process yethu yimibutho esifakela abantu ebhasini. Thina sivotela ibhasi engumbutho. Umbutho ke ngokuzidecidele ngokwawo ukuba ubeka abani na ebhasini. Sifikelele kulandawo ngokuyobana we have enough agency and voice as abahlali base South Africa because ayisebenzelanga le model besinayo.
The public, the communities do not have a voice. And why is that? Because we allow the politicians to come up with electoral reforms without us saying that is what we want.
Information often comes from the top and it comes then down to the people on the ground, and that then leads to a government that's very out of touch with what's happening in reality.
Politicians are supposed to be our servants. We are supposed to be their bosses. But they are now behaving as if their bosses were our servants.